Now, I think this is working. Yes, it is. It's working. Hello, and Flora's come back to join us today because we've not got the story panels that might fall on my head. In fact, what we have is a blanket that I made with a wonderful blondine as part of a project in Evington Community Woods. So there's lots of pictures here about Evington Community Woods, where you can see above my head they have this lovely little fireplace where they make a nice cup of tea. And so that's what's behind me. Also, can you see here, up here, there's some little animals. There's a frog and a newt. And that made me think about how sometimes it's the little tiny things, the unexpected things, that are the magic that make things work. With Evington Woods, the community, I mean obviously the main thing was the community working together to purchase the woods and to raise the money and to get the support. And there was a lot of work went into this and all the community working together. But then one of the wonderful things that happened was they discovered that there was a very special newt living in the pond. And because of this very, very special newt, they were able to get support and funding. And that's one of the things that has meant that Evington Community Woods is a place for the community. And it was really partly because of this little tiny newt that nobody had known there was there. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. And then I was going to tell you a story. Now, I am actually sitting right in front of the panel. Oh, can you see now? There's the owl. There's the owl. Now, I thought I might tell you one of my favourite stories. Flora's not been terribly helpful. I'm going to have to move a little bit like this so you can see the owl. There we are. There's the owl. So this is the story about a storyteller. So it's one of my favourite stories. It's about long, long ago. Long, long ago, of course, people didn't have electricity. So at night times, they couldn't watch the telly. They couldn't play the computer or play the Xbox or anything. So what did they do? Well, they told stories. They told and listened to stories. Now this story is about a particular storyteller who lived in a castle. He was the clan chief's storyteller. Now the clan chief, he had lived in his castle and he had the best of everything. He had the finest cook. He had a wonderful pipe player who played the bagpipes. He had a beautiful clarinet player who played beautifully on the harp. And he had a storyteller. Now the storyteller was getting quite old. Now the storyteller had a seat by the fire and a big chair over in the corner of the room where we would maybe now have a telly. And that's where he sat and dozed quite a lot. And then people would come and say, "Tell us a story." And he'd wake up and tell them a story. Well, one day he was sitting in his chair having a wee doze, when in came the clan chief and said, "I'm wanting you to tell a good story of the night. I've invited all the children and all the friends and family to a party here tonight. So everybody's coming and I want you to tell them a good story." But oh dear, there was a problem. You see, the storyteller wasn't feeling that great. It was like, the cold had got into his bones. And he was like, I'm not really a sort of, oh dear, what am I to do? What am I to do? So he thought, I need to get the fire going more. Maybe that'll help. So he put some sticks onto the fire, a few sticks onto the fire, and the fire started to come up a bit. Oh, that was a bit better, a bit brighter. And then he got a big log and he put the log on the fire. Now there was a nice glow coming from that fire, and he could feel the heat soaking into his bones, and it was making him feel better. And he was gazing into the fire when he saw something really strange. You see, there was a hole in the log, and in the hole he could see two shiny eyes. Two shiny eyes. And suddenly, out of the log came an owl. An owl. And the owl flew round and round the great hall. And Storyteller was watching this owl flying round the hall. And then the owl came above the Storyteller. And the owl spoke to the Storyteller. The owl said, "I know your problem. You haven't any stories to tell, but come with me." And with that, the Storyteller found himself lifting up into the air. And before he knew it, he was flying too. And he followed the owl back and forth around the great hall. And there was a window open. And the owl flew out the window. And the Storyteller followed. And they went through into an enchanted wood. And they flew through the enchanted wood. And they encountered all sorts of wondrous things. They even came upon a clearing, and the sunlight was shining into the clearing, and who should step through into the clearing but a unicorn. A unicorn, the beautiful, beautiful unicorn of Scotland, came into the clearing and over to the side of the hill, and he used his horn, his unique horn, the unicorn's unique horn, and he made a little stream come out of the side of the hill. And that water was clean and pure and beautiful, and it came rushing out, and all the birds came and they gathered round, and they were singing and dancing and bathing in this beautiful clean water. And the Storyteller went over to it, and he took some of the water, and he drank some of the water. And all his aches and all his bones were gone, and he was feeling just magical and wonderful and full of stories and magic. So he flew back into the castle and back into his seat, and there he was, before everybody arrived, ready with stories to tell. So there we are. We thank the owl for having taken the Storyteller on this wonderful adventure into the enchanted wood. Because at the moment we can go into many enchanted woods in our stories. And of course, he met the unicorn. Now, I haven't done a picture of a unicorn yet, but I have this cushion. But maybe you'd like to do a picture of a unicorn. I want to tell you about this. It was Blondine who made this beautiful owl. Isn't it fantastic? So, there we are with our first story today. Now, maybe you would like to draw a unicorn or an owl or a storyteller. And I will come back with another story in about 10 minutes. Okie dokie. Cheery bye just now.